Good afternoon and good evening, everyone. Wherever you're joining us from across the globe, you're welcome. I'm Martha Kamati, your host for this evening and Data and Technology Lead at Parlons Project Foundation, a Pan-African nonprofit platform dedicated to empowering the next generation of Africa project leaders through excellency, inclusion, and sustainability. Now, before anything else, I would like to know where you are joining in from. Please drop in your city, your country right now in the comment. Let us see how far this community have reached tonight. Let's see where you're watching in from. I see Cameroon. Incredible, absolutely incredible. This right here, so I see Cameroon as well. Mauritius, wow. Cameroon again. Ivory Coast, wow. Absolutely incredible. This right here is what Parlons Project is about. A community that spans borders, time zone, and language, all united by one thing, the belief that Africa project leader belong at every single table that matters. And tonight we are talking about one of the most important table Africa has ever been invited to. The PMI Global Summit Africa 2026 is coming to Cape Town, South Africa this September. And tonight's conversation is about making sure Africa does not just attend. Africa shows up, leads, and leaves a mark. I have four extraordinary guests with me this evening. They are not here just to speak. They are here because they are already doing the work. And let me just bring them in. So for our first speaker, we have Peter Obako-Moyo. Peter is the head of delegation for PMI Cameroon at GSSA Cape Town 2026. Peter is waiting for September. Peter is not waiting for September, I'm assuming. He's already organizing, already mobilizing, already building the movement from ground up. So Peter, you're very much welcome. Next up, we have Nelson Garissa, Charter Engagement Specialist 2 at PMI Africa. Nelson sits at the heart of how PMI connects with communities across this continent. If you want to understand what this summit means for Africa at a strategic level, I believe Nelson is exactly the right person to have in this exact room. Nelson, great to have you again. We also have Frida Sugro from Ghana. I just learned that. She's a regional channel partner manager for Sub-Saharan Africa at PMI. Frida works at the intersection of strategy and partnership. She knows what PMI is building for Africa professionals, and she's here to open that up for us tonight. Frida, you're welcome. And finally, joining us from the host country itself, our representative from the PMI South Africa chapter. South Africa is not just a hosting event. It's not just hosting the event. They are hosting a movement for the entire continent, and we are glad you are here with us tonight. So welcome to all four of you. And before we get into it, to our French speakers, please feel free to send in your comments. We have a colleague who will double as our translator, Clemmer. So please feel free and we'll be here for you. So getting into the discussion of this series today, we want to know what exactly matters, why this moment matters. So to let us start at the heart of it with Nelson. I want to come to you first to say that because we are not only talking about logistic. I mean, before we talk about logistic or preparation, people need to feel why this matters. You know, what is it about Cape Town 2026 that makes it different and not any other cities? What makes this edition something that project professionals across Africa genuinely cannot afford to miss?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Martha. That is a very important question, and I would start by the history of the event. The Africa Conference, it used to be called the Africa Conference Global Summit Series. which we branded to Digital Summit Series now, a global event, and which is happening in Cape Town. But the reason why I want to start with the history is because this is an event that was started with the community in the region. And by the community, I mean the chapters that we have in the region. We have about 24 chapters, PMI chapters in the region. The first ever summit was held in the region, and back then it was called the Africa Conference. So the reason why Cape Town is super important and very strategic this year is because it is the 10-year anniversary of this conference. When we started, if you look at the progression, we've always had attendees from about 100, 150 to 300 to 800 to 1,000. And now we're going to Cape Town, which is a very strategic location. The the conference was first done in Johannesburg, and it just feels right to have the 10-year anniversary happen in Cape Town. And on top of that, the South Africa chapter is celebrating 45 years. Those are 45 years of impact and community building. So besides this being just a milestone, a 10-year milestone in South Africa, it's also important to showcase the growth that has happened in the region. I mean, professionally and also through the projects that we've been able to see. And now in PMI, we have pillars that we have named content innovation platforms. These are pillars that are influencing the community and influencing the world right now. And the bigger one of them is actually AI. So it feels right that some of these topics are going to be discussed in an in-depth during this summit. So all these things put together make Cape Town a very good destination for this conference. And on top of that, which is a bonus, Cape Town is a very good tourist destination. So as you can see from the background of my the background I have today, you'll see that there's is very good places that you can actually go. So you can combine attending the conference and also a tourist destination, just as a bonus.
In
Yeah.
leisure, I would definitely love to visit Cape Town more often. So, from what I'm getting is that this is not just a conference, but it's also about Africa taking a claim in the global conversation, looking at all the topics and aspects that are going to be discussed at the summit. So, thank you very much, Nelson. And speaking of that, Frida, PMI is just not organizing an event, right? I mean, PMI is signaling something by bringing this summit to African soil, which is Cape Town, the place of business, And from a perspective, what does that signal mean exactly? And what should Africa professionals expect from their whole experience summed up? Over to you, Frida.
I just realized I was on mute.
Happens to the best of us.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Martha. And hello, everyone. So, Nelson has raised some really key points, right? First of all, I'm really excited to be part of this conversation, as we prepare for Cape Town. So the Global Summit Series is not just a conference. So I'd just like to start off by saying that participants can expect more than what they expect when they go for conferences, right? So this is a series that brings together the region's project leaders and practitioners. So you get the opportunity to learn, connect, and explore ideas that can strengthen project delivery across the continent. This is really important. So at the event, it's curated in a way that we have rich conversations. For this year, we have put together a really, really strong program that speaks to the issues shaping project management in Africa today, especially as we respond to, the demographic changes, economic changes, and the introduction of artificial intelligence that seems to seep in everything that we do. So you're going to hear from an incredible lineup of expert speakers, global thought leaders, and they will share insights on how to navigate these changes and how we can stay ahead of them as a continent, as Africans. And then let's not forget the networking opportunities that comes with such big events, right? So one of the real strengths of the summit is participants get the chance to meet leaders, connect with peers from across the region, and build relationships that can lead to meaningful collaboration post the event. So that is another critical point to think about. It's not just attending the events, but a lot of collaboration happens after the events. And so you don't want to miss those opportunities that we put together. Another thing participants can expect, of course, is that you get to earn your professional development units. I know this is important for our practitioners, and so we've planned workshops and sessions that help practitioners get their professional development units towards maintaining their certifications. So I think that, Martha, overall, we have intentionally crafted an experience that delivers real value through learning, network, and meaningful partnerships, which means that participants can go right back and implement all the practical ideas that they have learned at the summit on the job. And this is not something that you can quantify immediately, but organizations see the immediate impact when participants come back. So this is just, add on to what Nelson said, that we need to be at the table. Professionals in Africa need to make the conscious effort to make this top of their plans, because the advantages, the outcomes of this, it's immeasurable, especially for our projects on the continent. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Frida. I mean, one key thing you said is about networking and partnership, and that's one really important aspect when you're looking at summit or events. And one thing I want our audience to know is this is not an African event. It's an African event happening. It's not an African event, but it's an event for everyone happening in South Africa, Cape Town. Now, thank you very much, Frida, again. Now, I want us to move into building the movement, the delegation story. And Nelson gave us a little bit of highlight. Now I want to shift to something very concrete, because inspiration without action is just feeling, right? And Peter Obakomayo is someone who turned inspiration into action, I believe, and the moment this summit was announced. So, Peter, please walk us through it. What is the PMI Cameroon delegation? What motivated you to build this chapter, and what does it actually look like in practice for someone who wants to be part of it? And please, you can go ahead and answer in French, and Clemence will be on standby for the English speakers.
Yes. Thank you. You hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you.
Ok, Peter, ce que l'on veut savoir, c'est qu'est-ce que le chapitre PMI Cameroun attend comme en termes de motivation, quelles sont vos motivations pour y participer? Voilà, pouvez-vous expliquer ce que le chapitre PMI Cameroun et quelles
Martha,
sont les motivations?
Ce mouvement est né d'une conviction saine. L'Afrique ne doit plus être spectatrice des grandes conversations mondiales sur le management de projets. Elle doit en devenir l'un des moteurs. Le PMI Global Summit Série Africa 2026 représente une opportunité historique pour les professionnels africains de se retrouver, d'apprendre, de créer des partenariats et surtout de montrer que les Africains peuvent aussi produire les leaders, les innovateurs et des projets de fort impact. Au niveau du PMI Cameroun, nous avons voulu transformer une simple participation individuelle en une véritable dynamique collective. C'est pour cela que nous construisons une délégation structurée, ambitieuse et collaboratrice. L'objectif pour nous au PMI Cameroun n'est pas d'aller au Cape Town. L'objectif est de revenir avec des connexions stratégiques, des opportunités, des idées, des compétences et une vision renforcée pour nos écosystèmes locaux. Aujourd'hui, participer au GSSA 2026, ce n'est plus du tourisme professionnel. Pour nos PMI Cameroun, c'est un investissement stratégique dans son leadership et dans l'avenir du continent. Merci.
Yes. What Peter want to talk is Africa cannot afford to be left out of this historic opportunity to learn, to grow, and also contribute to high impact project. And for the PMI Cameroon chapter, the main objective or the main goal is to return back in Cameroon after this attending to Cap Town with a strategic connection and the fresh ideas and the renewed vision, the new vision, the new vision. This is not just a professional tourism, but it is through individual investment. Thank you. I give you the floor, Martha.
Yeah, thank you so much, Peter and Clamar. So thank you so much, very much, Nelson. So based on what, in this case, Clamar said in English, when you look at what Peter is currently doing in Cameroon, so based on what was just explained by Clamar, what is the multiplier effect when a chapter shows up together, not just as one, but working together rather than doing it individually?
Okay, thank you. I would start saying that this showing up together shows that you have that collective responsibility, collective ownership, you and you're coming in as a community to be part of the conversations that are going to happen. First of all, we do not want to miss this opportunity. That's super important. For all that have attended the previous sessions, you know that the conversations that have happened here, the connections that have happened during these sessions, they're so important, and they've assisted in shaping what we have done or what we have seen in the past years. And for instance, just to put context into it, when this region officially started in PMI, our community was very small, and the numbers of certified project professionals was also very low. But because of the awareness that has continually kept happening in the region, and through such events, we've managed to keep growing. So, growing up as a community ensures that the community that has showed up, when you go back to the country, you have multiple people that are able to speak about the same things and the benefits that you've been able to gain. So it's just not just a matter of attending the conference and then going back. It's consuming these conversations, but being able to contribute to through lived experiences, innovations, and also through leadership. The more people that come, the better. And as we say, as the saying goes, if you want to go far, you have to work together to be able to do a lot, essentially. So that's super important, and I can't emphasize it further.
Yes, thank you, Nelson. I really like what you mentioned about gaining from the series, or gaining from from the event that is going to happen in Cape Town, and that working togetherness in order to go far. And I just want to bring Frida in a little bit here on the individual professionals, right? We're talking about the gaining, the collaboration, the networking, and the individual professionals watching us tonight, someone who is not part of any charter or delegation at the moment, wondering whether Cape Town is really for them. What do you say to that person? What word do you have for this individual that is out there watching us right now?
At any of these PMI's global summits, and you get an opportunity to go on the website, it's going to blow your mind. And so for anybody who has never been and is thinking, should I go? Think about this as an investment into your profession as a project professional, because we just outlined some amazing benefits, right? The opportunities of meeting some of the experts in the field, global experts in the field, opportunities of meeting different members of our ecosystem, opportunities for learning, staying on trend, understanding the shift in the project management ecosystem, and strategies on how to stay ahead of them. I can't say enough the benefits to individuals who are looking to attend. But I can just simply say that if you're looking to invest in the profession of project management, looking to grow in your career and just, excel in what you're doing, going with the trends and the learnings, then this is the opportunity for you to be present at the table, because the advantages, like I said, is immeasurable. So that's enough knowing that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I just want to pause a little bit to also just sum up everything we have said, and to let our audience maybe a question or two from the comment section that is directed to our panels today. If you have any questions, please, or insight, please send them through, and then our panel can answer you on that. So while we wait for more questions to come in, and then we can just touch base on that, we'll just continue to, from the aspect of from where we see it, from where the audience see it, what has been the biggest question on your mind? I mean, you can send through your questions while we just look at the chat real quickly. Majority of the questions that are coming in are in regards to the PMI Cape Town and the security around the hosting part. Is that something the panel can touch on?
Sure. I can start, and then if Frida has any comment, she can add. So I would like to reiterate that the safety of our attendees and the community in general is very important to PMI. So that the security and the safety, I want to repeat it again, security and safety of our attendees is super important. So for all the events that we have in the region or even outside of the region, we ensure that we want to, that is fully taken care of. For instance, we had an event in Kigali before, and which was held last year. But prior, it was supposed to be done the year before, but we had to postpone that event because we had health concerns. So I'm saying this to just say that we are closely monitoring this situation and getting updates on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. And we are also meeting our chapter presidents on, we've been meeting our chapter presidents on a bi-weekly basis, but now we are meeting on a monthly basis going forward. And on these meetings, we are able to share updates on what has been done or what we are doing. But what's important is that we have partnered with the city of Cape Town for several things. They are our close partners for the event. So now, even with this case, the city of Cape Town is ensuring that we have security for our attendees. The venue for our event is at the city center of Cape Town, where none of these activities have actually been reported. The entire place where we will have our conference, none of this has been reported. For instance, if you check the venue, which is Cape Town ICC Conference Center, International Conference Center, you will realize we have multiple international conferences that are ongoing at the moment, and with great attendance from attendees from outside of the region. So that goes to say that the city itself has put in a lot of effort to ensure that if there's any attendee that is attending any other conference or our conference specifically, they are assured that their safety and security are actually taken care of. So in addition to that, we are going to be sending a series of communications on some of the things that you should be able to do once you arrive at the airport. We will have people at the airport to receive you and to direct you where you'll be able to get your taxis and how you're going to get to the hotel. Um, it is also important for me to mention that the distance between the airport and where the hotel is about 15 minutes. It's not a long distance. And also reiterating the fact that that venue and even the hotels and Airbnbs, if you're staying in any of them, are around that venue and they are in the middle of the city center. Yes, I'm not sure if there's anything that uh, my colleague Frida wanted to add. But on top of this, we are working with the relevant authorities, besides even the City of Cape Town, to ensure that we get the updates and to ensure that the safety and security is actually top notch for all our attendees. Frida?
Yeah, Nelson, I think you've covered everything. I just wanted to assure people that, safety is number one, okay, on our list. And like Nelson mentioned, some of the issues that we've seen on social media and in the news, these are pockets of issues happening in towns very, very, very far away from where we are holding the session. So there's that. But outside that, apart from monitoring the situation, we have a plan A, B, C, D, okay, in the event of anything small. And communication will be going out to our community, keeping them updated if anything at all pops up. So this is just to assure you that we have this, at the top of our list, and everything is safe. We're not going to put anybody in harm's way. And if for any reason there's something to be concerned about, we will communicate.
To Nelson and Frida, thank you so much for the assurance and clarification. Before we continue, we just have a 3 minutes video that we would like to share with you. That's from the PMI GSSA, and the technical team will just put it up just for 3 minutes for you to see it. To the team on the background, can we just restart the video with audio as well? I think we're having some technicality over there. You can also find the video on LinkedIn, on YouTube, sorry. Perhaps we could just share the direct link into the comments, and the viewers can have a look at the video on YouTube with sound and better quality. Thank you very much to the technical team. So let's talk about making the most of the event when we get to Cape Town, about what happened once you are actually there. I mean, we talked about the logistics earlier, just we touched a tiny bit on it, because I think a lot of professionals attend event and come back with business cards, maybe 10, 20 business cards, and a good feeling, but not necessarily the transformation. So this, we just want to hear from Nelson a little bit. How does someone move from simply attending the summit to genuinely creating impact from it? I know you touched a little bit on it earlier, but I just want you to emphasize more on that, because we also don't want to be part of the people that collect 10, 20 business cards and not actually get the impact from the event. So how do we go about that?
Yeah. That's actually super important. It could end up being just another event that you attended if you don't intentionally plan and think and have that networking strategy, or the strategy to ensure that you actually soak up a lot of knowledge before you leave. So what I would recommend is to recommend, also encourage you to do, is go to the event with a clear purpose, and you do this before you actually travel. So what is going to happen before the event? We normally upload everything, the agenda and the structure of the event, on an app, and the conference app. So on that app, you are able to clearly select which sessions you want to attend, because you're going to have a lot of breakout sessions during the event. You want to ensure that you strategically select the sessions that speak to you and your industry, or the knowledge that you want to soak up once you get into the conference. And you want to be able to get into those kind of conversations that are going to directly impact you and what you do, in your community, or in your organization, or even in your company. So that's important. The second thing that you want to do is to be able to connect with people. You'll be able to see other attendees on that app. On the app, you'll be able to see other attendees that have registered and they're going to attend the session. You can connect with them and start exchanging ideas even before the conference starts. Be able to book sessions with people that you wanted to meet, and exchange insights and best practices. So that's important. The other thing is that during the sessions, please participate. You want to be able to ask questions. You want to be able to network. We have so many networking sessions, and these networking sessions look like tea breaks, the lunch breaks. We also have evening sessions where we have welcoming reception, or even the gala dinner that normally happens. So when this is going on, try and be intentional in meeting people. This is why we are here. Meet people, change ideas, ask questions, but prepare in advance. It can be very overwhelming, and I'm saying this from experience, especially for first timers. It can be very experiencing going to an event for the first time and you don't know anyone, for example, or you haven't looked at the agenda. For example, you haven't selected which sessions you want to attend. You end up wasting time, you end up not missing out on sessions, and you want to catch up again after the event. So you want to prepare way in advance, meet people. If you're not part of the community, and by community, I mean you're not part of any chapter, be intentional about meeting the chapter leaders from these chapters. Discuss on ways that you can partner with them or volunteer at the chapter, being able to offer your skills, to be able to nurture the community and also mentor other people, or being able to just get leadership experience as well. So these are some of the things that I think if you do them in advance and during the event, you won't just be collecting you won't just be collecting
Business
cards,
cards.
like Martha said, but you would have built connections. We've seen people that have come in, they've gained knowledge, they've gone on to partner with people, they've gone on to even get promotions or even move countries because of the connections that they have made or the knowledge that they have gained and things like that. This is a platform that you want to really fully take advantage of, but you need to plan for it.
Thank you so much, Nelson. That's very much well said. So we are all looking forward to making meaningful networking, talking to the delegates. The connection shouldn't just end at the event. It should go beyond that. It should go beyond what you want to build in terms of your personal life, in terms of your professional life. So we are talking about, thank you again, Nelson. So we are talking about maximizing value. Do we still have Peter on the call? Peter, do we still have you on the call? Okay, not a problem. We're talking about...
Please, Master, we miss Peter.
Okay, not a problem.
Please.
Okay, not a problem. So we'll just jump into to Frida. Maybe wait for Peter to connect. So Frida, we are talking about, I think you have touched a little bit earlier on AI, digital transformation and the future of work, just a little bit. With those themes that are going to be everywhere in Cape Town, because that's now the hot topic in every corporate world, in every business, I might say. How is PMI specifically equipping African professionals at large within Africa, beyond Africa, to not just participate in those conversations, but also to lead the conversation when it comes to that aspect? Frida, do we still have you? Frida?
Yes.
You're on mute. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I was talking away. Yeah. Now, I was just saying that's a fantastic question, right? We cannot have these conversations without talking about AI. And, Africa is at a pivotal moment right now, right? So we're seeing a huge growth in sectors like technology, infrastructure, and energy. And AI is at the core of all of this. So at PMI, how do we help professionals, you said, stay ahead and reap the benefits of these emerging trends? And we do that a couple of ways, but our approach is really very practical and is ecosystem focused, right? And so for starters, at PMI, we have our authorized training partner network, and we work closely with them to provide training across Africa. So they deliver high quality, standardized, instructor-led training to prepare professionals to take their certifications. So as part of this program, we prepare professionals over a wide selection of our gold standard certifications. And this includes, very recently, our CPMAI, which is our certification that prepares professionals to lead AI projects, right? So that is one of the ways in which PMI prepares our professionals, by providing them with exam prep training with the highest quality content to increase their chances of passing their exams and getting certified in these very specialized, certifications like our AI certification. So that's one of the ways that we do that. We also have other certifications around, green project management, construction professionals. So we do have those very specialized certifications and training as well for emerging skills. So like you said, the project management landscape is moving. It's totally moving and going into the era of AI, sustainability, and digital transformation. And so the more learnings and specialized certifications that we bring onto the portfolio as PMI, it gives our professionals access to building their knowledge and skills in these specialized areas, and then they can go back and implement these in their projects. So they can have the conversations because they now have the skills and the knowledge, and they can execute these projects because they do have the skills and the knowledge, and even better, they have the certifications. Another thing that we do at PMI, which is beyond certifications and training, is a strong emphasis on our continuous development, right? And so the profession of project management requires consistent everyday learning. You have to build your knowledge, you have to add on to your knowledge, you strengthen the skills you have, and you grow the skills to remain competitive. So how do we do this? We provide our professionals with access to webinars, free online courses, thought leadership, and other learning resources. All of these you can find on our PMI.org website, right? And why do we do this? Because we want our professionals to consistently and continuously build the skills that they need to stay competitive. And then we have our strategic partnerships. So PMI partners with, governments, we partner with universities, and we partner with big organizations who want to strengthen project delivery. And so for our professionals, it gives them access, it gives them relevance, it gives them opportunities to work with governments to support, workforce capacity building, with the universities to support academic programs that embed project management as part of the curriculum, and with organizations to deliver large-scale projects. So at PMI, supporting our professionals goes beyond certifications. We ensure that we're giving them the training to keep the skills fresh, to keep the skills relevant, to keep them competitive. And then we provide them opportunities for these strategic partnerships that, further enhances the opportunities for them. And of course, we're talking about the Global Summit today. And, PMI is really good at putting together such events where people can come together, gain that global exposure, and be able to connect globally. Like you said, Martha, although this is happening in South Africa, on the continent, this is a global event. And so our professionals have access, not just to the expertise we have on the continent, but beyond that.
Yes, that's well said. Thank you so much, Frida. That's well said. We're talking about equipping professionals to also lead conversation. And the more we upskill on our own personal and professional level, the more we are well equipped to lead some conversation, not just within PMI, but within different topics of the globe, for example. Before we move on, Nelson mentioned that there's access to an app where attendees could log in and look at the event. And I think one question that slipped my mind and I didn't ask is, where do we find that app? This goes both to Frida and Nelson, please.
Nelson,
thank you, Martha. Yeah, I'll take that. So it's still very early days in the planning of the conference. We are defining how the agenda of the conference will be. Soon the announcement of speakers. Most of the speakers have started announcing themselves on social media. That definition of the agenda is still ongoing. We will send a link to all the attendees with confirmed registrations on an email that we say, which is the know before you go email. We'll send an email with the link to download the app where you'll see all the updates. And that's yet to come.
Okay, thank you so much. That was just one of the questions that just popped up. I think that was just answered. So we are moving towards the close, and do we have Peter back? Not yet. Okay. So this one is for both Frida and Nelson, right? We have spoken about so many things, regarding the event, regarding networking, for example, how to access the information, regarding the security, which is one of the main questions that was popping up in the chat. So putting all this together, what is, based on your experience, I mean, PMI has been hosting a lot of events so far. What is that one thing that is underestimated about this specific event, both by the organizers as well as the participants? I'm very curious to know that based on your experience.
Martha, can
To
you
both
say that?
So I was just talking about based on your experience, right? I mean, PMI has been hosting events, and so lesson learned. What is that underestimated? What is that one thing people underestimate about the event, both from the organizing aspect and to the participants as well?
Yeah. I'll take that. I think one of the things that I'd say we both underestimate is the power of global connections and shared experience. Okay, so we say it, but somehow I don't think that you can feel it until you are at one of these events, right? And so you have people coming from so many different backgrounds, different countries, working on different projects. All of them come under one roof, and you realize that we're facing very similar problems wherever we're coming from, similar challenges where we are working on projects. Okay. And so being able to have those conversations, being able to get perspectives from other countries, other people, and going back to solution those, you realize that the impact of being able to connect on that global level is nothing that you ever prepare for, right? And so I think for me, for even participants who come, you remember I said it's not just a conference. I think that it goes way beyond that. And you only get to experience or get that insight once you're on there. So generally, we do really underestimate the power of the global connection and the shared experience. And if we put that at the top of our list and work towards that, we leave these programs completely different people, I'd say.
Yeah, thank you so much, Frida. Nelson, do you have anything to add to that?
Not really, but maybe just to mention that, to just double down on what Frida has said, that power of connection is something that we underestimate.
Yeah.
We also underestimate the kind of knowledge that you can be able to take home as well, as part of being part of this event. I think let's not underestimate those things. Come prepared, like I said, prepare in advance, and come ready to be able to gain these experiences, make connections, and be able to soak in as much as possible.
Yes, thank you so much. My logo that I go by is network, which is very, very, very important. So thank you so much for sharing. And we are about to come to a close of what has been a great discussion so far, looking inside the PMI event that is going to happen in Cape Town. And I want to end with something that stays with everyone long after the stream, hopefully. And this is one question to all of you, Peter and Nelson and Frida. I think we still don't have Peter on the call. Just in short, 2 minutes. Just give me a moment, please. I think I'm having some connection issue. Okay, so this is for both Peter and Nelson and Frida. Coming to Cape Town, what is that one thing you would love to see chapters across Africa do differently in how they collaborate? Any Nelson or Frida, you can take the way.
Nelson can start and I'll add on.
Yeah. Sorry. So what I'm going to say is our chapters are already collaborating. We want to see, we want to see more of that, and this presents that opportunity where they get to meet. Most of them, most of the chapters get to meet, and it's not just the chapters. The entire community actually gets to meet. We want to see more events, collaborations between across chapters. We want to see more of those speaking opportunities and people traveling across each region and being able to support each other. This is one of those things that is being done, but we can take it to an even higher level. I mean, this is how this conference started, if I must say. The conference started by chapters in the region collaborating and hosting it. And then it to the Africa conference, a regional event where we're inviting people across the region. And now it's a global event where we're not just inviting the regional representatives, we are also inviting attendees from outside of the region. So this is what happens when we actually closely collaborate and move beyond the boundaries that we have.
Thank you so much, Nelson, for sharing.
I just have one thing to add. I'd like to see our chapters collaborate more with our training partners, right? So where I sit in my role, like I said, our authorized training partners provide the exam prep to support our learners to take these certifications. And so that collaboration between the training providers and chapters is always a win-win. And then we see the benefits across the ecosystem once these collaborations are made. I do know that the two groups, everyone is busy trying to do what they need to do. However, the collaboration between the two is always encouraged, and I would like to see more of that.
Thank you so much for sharing. One important thing we didn't touch on, and I think is very important for our audience today, is the early bird. We didn't touch on that. So please, Frida, Nelson, Peter, can you please shine some light on that for our audience?
I can take that.
Thank you.
Yeah, so early bird is open. We actually extended the deadline. It was supposed to end be 2 weeks ago, but now the last day to actually register and take advantage of early bird period is 26th of this month, which is Tuesday next week. We literally have just today, tomorrow, and then it will expire on the 26th of May. I highly encourage you to take advantage of this. We are working very closely with chapters so that on top of the early bird rate, you actually get 10% or 20% off if you have groups of between 10 to 19 or above 20. So reach out to your chapters, join a group, you'll be able to pay at a discounted rate. That is super important. And I'm saying this so that you register with confidence, knowing that PMI is working on our end to ensure that your safety and security is taken care of. But also, you do not want to miss this experience. Take advantage of the early bird.
Thank you so much. Frida or Peter, do you have anything else to add on top of what Nelson said?
Yeah. No. So I think that Nelson has covered the early bit. I just wanted to let everybody listening, especially for those who might require some sort of approval from their organizations or want the organizations to sponsor this trip. We do have resources, and I'll link that in the chat where you can make a case so that your organization can sponsor you to attend, and you can find this on the website. But like I said, we'll link this here. And so we're looking at ways, how do we support people to be able to prepare, whether the organizations are paying for them or they're coming in as part of a chapter or other groups, to make this easy. And the earlier we started planning, the better. So we do have those resources. I encourage everybody to take some time and look through them and see what you need to be able to make it easy for you to get to Cape Town.
Thank you so much. So let's group ourselves into groups and get those tickets, get the logistics going, and let's see each other in Cape Town in September. And my final reflection to the panelists and to every single person watching us or has joined us is, why must Africa show up, which has been intensively discussed by the panelists, why we should show up for networking, for global exposure, and the list goes on. So Cape Town is more than just an event, to be honest. I mean, Cape Town is beautiful, place for business, place for leisure. It is a meeting point for ideas as well, for partnership, for leadership. It has all been mentioned by the panelists, and for Africa's future in project management and beyond. So the tickets exist, as per mentioned with the early bird tickets. The delegations are forming, the seats are there. You just have to group yourself, you just have to buy your tickets. And the only question is whether Africa will fill them, and we look forward to you filling them. And to our 4 incredible guests, Peter, Nelson, Freda, and my technical team, the background, our representative that are within the call. Thank you for not just showing up to this awesome, amazing conversation we had about the event, but for being the people actively building this movement. And we are looking forward to seeing the growth of the event, your personal growth as well. And to our community that sent through their comments, their questions tonight. Thank you for asking what everyone else was thinking. So thank you to the panelists for answering that. You represented this community beautifully. So thank you so much again. And to everyone watching, see you in South Africa, Cape Town in September. I'm hoping to see everyone and each one of you there. Thank you so much to the Parlons Project as well. Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.